Today we're working on my 05 Subaru Legacy here, and that's coming up next year on Just CB Gear. Welcome back here, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. What we got going on here is on my 05 Subaru Legacy. If I get about 60, I'm getting a vibration. Going up to 60, I'm getting a little vibration. When I'm hitting my brakes, I'm getting a roaring noise, and I'm hearing a slight roaring noise when I'm going down the road. So that leads me to believe the front wheel bearing on this is bad. So what we're doing in this video, we're going to take it apart and see if we can find out what is wrong with it. So I'm going to get the tire off, and then I'll bring you guys back. Now the first thing I'm going to do is this axle nut looks completely horrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some PB Blaster and I'm going to spray this in here and let this soak for a little bit while I do everything else, because that looks very nasty and that looks like it could be maybe an issue in the future. Hopefully not, but I want to do that just in case. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to take the caliper bracket off. There's a bolt right back here on the top and then one on the bottom, and they are a 17 millimeter, and I'm going to use a CRAFTSMAN long handled wrench to get those off. So let's get this caliper off. Alright, I just got a small extension that's a wobble with that 17 millimeter, and we're going to pop this on here and see if we can break it loose. Alright, there we go. That was a little bit tight, but we got it. I'll get these off and I'll come back with you. Now we got the bolts out of the brake caliper bracket. We're just going to slide that off here and hang them on our hanger right here so nothing happens to them. I see a lot of people just let their calipers hang by a hose. Do not do that. Get a hanger, make one out of a coat hanger, make one out of chicken wire, do something to hang your caliper. And I'm looking at the pads, and I just recently put pads on this. They look fine. Rotor looks a little bit overheated, but that usually happens with ceramic pads. And I'm going to slide that rotor off here. And now we got the hub bearing right here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Alright, now I got a 32 millimeter socket, and we're going to try to attempt to take this axle nut off here and see if it comes off easy or not. Alright, popped right loose. Always PB blasted or whatever kind of penetrant you like using. I find that helps out a lot. Alright, now the next thing we need to do, you can see a bolt right there and a bolt right there. There's two underneath in the exact same spot. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of hit these with a PB blaster, let them soak for a little bit, and then I'll go behind and try to get them out. Now the reason why I do this is when they do break loose and come out, it'll help them slide out easier. Alright, now what I like using on the 4 bolts holding it on, I do not have any kind of electric ratchet or anything. All I have is a 1/2 inch cordless impact, and you're not going to get that back there. So what I like using is a small breaker bar that I can get into the wheel well. And then I have my CRAFTSMAN 1/2 inch ratchet here. Once I break it loose, I'll take it off with this. Now that I broke it loose, I got an extension on here with my ratchet to get it the rest of the way off. Now I got all the bolts out. What we need to do is push the axle in. This is where you know is going to be another pain, but I could push mine in with a screwdriver, and that's nice. Sometimes these get locked up in here, and that could be a pain spot for this. So now we're ready to beat this off. Alright, now I got my big hammer here, and we're just going to see if we can hammer this off real quick. I'm going to try to clear the runway here. One of my brake pads just came out of my caliper. So we'll have to do that part a little bit different when we get to it. Alright, there we go. And now we just got to get the dust cover off. There we go, we got the dust cover off, and there is our hub bearing. This thing looks pretty nasty. I can hear I don't know if you guys can hear that, but yeah, this thing is way too free spinning. Let's grab the other one so I can show you. Now we got our new one here, and it's much tighter, not nearly as loosey-goosey as this one. Definitely needed to be changed. Alright, now we got everything off. I'm going to hit it with some PB Blaster, and we're going to get on the inside too. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to clean this maintenance surface up. So we're going to take our wire brush and start cleaning the maintenance surface. Alright, now we're just going to get a rag here, clean this all up. And basically what we're doing is we're just making sure we got a smooth mating surface on this. So when we put it back all together, everything is nice and straight on it. That makes it very nice and easy, and also it helps that if I got to replace this bearing again, I can just come in here and everything should come apart a little bit better also. Looks like I got some areas to touch up, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing to the dust cover here. This thing's rusted up enough as it is, so any PB Blaster on it will help it out. Alright, now we got that done. We're just going to wipe that all down and start putting this thing back together. Now what I'm going to do before I set it up, remember how I said that I was going to make this a little bit easier in case I ever had to do it again? I'm going to rub some anti-seize here on the splines of the drive shaft here real quick. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing to the mating surface here, just a light coat. Nothing too spectacular, just in case I ever got to take this off again. Then this right here, this flange, I'm going to do the same thing. Just put a little bit on there, smear it around. Alright, now I got that all smeared around here. I'm going to start putting this back together. Alright, now we're back here the next day. I actually had something come up and I had to stop working on this, so we're going to start putting it back together. What I got is the backing plate here, and just so you know, on the backing plate, if you want to put it on right, there's a indentation here. That goes with your tie rod in, so there's a bump on the other side, so it goes just like this, and I got a bolt sticking through to kind of hold that until I need it. And then we got our bearing here, and of course the closer bolts go up on top. So we're going to get this lined up here and try to get this all back together and lined up just like that. And now I'm not going to bore you guys. I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in from the back for the hub bearing. Basically, there is a torque spec on that, but I'm just going to give it a couple of ugga-duggas, so I'll be back when I'm done with that. Alright, now we got the hub on, and when I do tighten these up, I didn't mention it before, I do like doing a crisscross just like I do with the lug nuts on these, just to get it even on there. So now what I'm going to do is come through, slide the axle through from the back. We're going to start putting the axle nut on here. I'm going to thread it on until I get it about finger tight. And then we'll use the torque wrench to do it the rest of the way. Alright, about right there. Alright, now what I'm going to do is torque this a spec. You see a lot of guys on YouTube and on TikTok, they just impact these on. There's actually torque specs that come in the box here. Ours says 162 foot-pounds. So that's what we're going to do on this. We're going to put it to 162. Alright, there we go. And now this is torque to spec. I'll show you what we got to do next. Alright, next thing we need to do, there is a gap right here in the axle, and we got to stake this to keep it from backing out. Just take a chisel, a couple of whacks with a hammer, get that down in there. Alright, now the nut won't back off. Let's move on to the next step. Alright, the next step, we're going to put our brake rotor on after cleaning it. Slide that right on. Slides on perfect. Now we got to put the caliper back on. Alright, now for the caliper, I got my pad slid back in. We're just going to put this over the rotor and mount it back up. I'm not going to bore you guys with that part. Now we got this all back together. Last thing we need to do is stick our ABS sensor in. I think I forgot to tell you guys to take this out before you start knocking the hub off at the beginning, so I want to throw that in here. But don't forget your ABS sensor, or else when you get in, your light will be on. Now there you go, everything is back together. Really not hard. You can do it with basic hand tools. Very easy job. Does take some time, hour or two, depending on how much everything wants to fight. So there you go, another one knocked out on Jesse B gear. Like I said, I'm just a DIY guy. I am not a professional in anything, but I do try to do all my own work when I can, and I want to try to show you guys when I can. So now, what I got a question for you guys is, this is my '05 Subaru Legacy. This is my daily driver. I've had done a bunch of repairs on it. I don't know if I said it in this video. I've actually replaced both rear hub bearings on this, and now one front one. If you guys want me to do a video of everything I've fixed on this car, leave a comment down below and I'll go over it, and I'll tell you right now, this car I have changed more stuff on than any other car I've owned, and let's just say I'm not a big Subaru fan. So we'll just end it off right there. So as always, don't forget to check the links out down below. Down there I'll have some affiliate links that does help out the channel. Some got discount codes to save you guys money. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. We are one nation under God, and I'll see you all on the next one.